Welcome, fans. We are live on thehannibaltv.com with a very special show today. We're calling the Napanee Schools Out Slam Control Center. We will be running down the card that takes place next Saturday, June the 29th, in its entirety, from top to bottom, with a few surprises along the way. And I'm very pleased to welcome with us today the man who has been integral in terms of the co-promotion of this event. He's a man who's done a lot of work in the area promotional wise, and I would be talking about Mr. Jeff Hoover from Hooves Hit Records. Jeff, how are you doing this afternoon, sir?
I'm great, Jack. How are you?
Just tremendous. Thanks for your time today, and I'm looking forward to your insights in this, the very first Napanee Schools Out Slam Control Center, and also for those history buffs out there, the first time we've returned to the lovely city of Napanee since 2017. So we've got a lot of ground to cover here, a lot to talk about in terms of the card, and we're going to also, fans, be giving away some tickets for this event. Hold them up, Jeff. There we go. Lovely tickets. We'll be giving those away with a bit of a trivia question in just a bit. But before we get to all that good stuff, Jeff, can you talk about just your history with GNW in the past and the work that you've done in terms of promoting, generally speaking, in the area for so long, wrestling included?
Well, I guess it started off when I was just young. I started off just doing hockey tournaments, ball hockey tournaments around town. And then as I grew older, I got interested in the wrestling. I had an opportunity from a guy I went to high school with, Mike Gurgis, who made a movie about the Iron Sheik. He was going to Hot Docs Film Festival in Toronto, and he wanted to do a stop in Kingston to see some family and friends. So we brought the Sheik up here, and we showed his movie, and did a Q&A similar to what we're going to do next Saturday. And from there, I got in touch with Mr. Nicholson, and I've done about 5 wrestling events with him now. Brockville, Smith Falls, Petawawa, Napanee, Kingston. And Napanee always has some really good fans.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Sorry, Jack. Sorry. And I got a Kiss Destroyer cover band coming in August this year at the Mansion in Kingston, where we'll be doing an outdoor concert there. So we'll plug that another time. But you asked me what I've got on the go. That's what I'm doing.
Sweet. Yeah, Kiss. I think I've actually seen that cover band before, and they always put on a tremendous show.
They're the best in Canada, maybe North America.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So in terms of Great North Wrestling and our return, the 29th of June, as I said, just days away, under a week, we've got a loaded show here. I'll just put up for the fans the poster, and we'll go through the marquee matches also in the back. Jeff has up in the back on either side. That's awesome. We'll go through the marquee matches as well as the whole card. But Jeff, in terms of you've got a real strong knowledge of the area and how the community appears to really support professional wrestling, and especially quality professional wrestling. What is it about the fans in Napanee that make them so rabid for the product?
Well, Jack, I think they're a lot like you and me. They might be around our age. They enjoy our era. And Great North Wrestling, it's more old school independent wrestling. It's the best there is. So I think that has a lot to do with it. I also think that Napanee in a whole has a community. When they have an event going on, they all like to show up. I was just at the youth musical thing they did there at the fairgrounds a couple weekends ago, and there was a good turnout. So hoping the same for our event.
Well, let's get right into it now, talking about some of the unique talents that we're bringing in. The one of the ones that jumps out right off the bat is a rare father-son team by the name of the Speeds, Jason Speed and Justin Hernandez. They are from New York State. Mr. Speed, Jason, has worked with the WWF on television against certain names such as Nails, Shawn Michaels. So he's a veteran in the industry, and he's got a rare opportunity to bring his son into the business, and they're in a tag team match here against what are really a group that are certainly getting a lot of buzz on the independent circuit, both in Quebec and in Ontario. And I would be talking about the Holy Trinity, led by Mr. Josh Angel in the middle there. Two of the Holy Trinity, including Josh, will be facing the Speeds. When you think back, to the golden era of father-son tag teams, there really weren't all that many. So it's a rare opportunity for fans to experience that. If you had to narrow it down back into the golden era, what father-son teams jump out at you, given the fact that you're an AWA fan?
I'm gonna have to go with the Hennings.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Kurt's my favorite wrestler of all time, and there's a good father and son team. I'm sure the Poffles. I think Lanny and Randy both probably had a run with their dad at one point. They'd be some of the best. I'd have to say.
And Bruno Sammartino tagged with David for a while, and it's going to be interesting because I've talked to Jason several times. He's hungry. He really wants to bring his son on board, and this is going to be a heck of an encounter, considering, again, the Holy Trinity they're not beyond bending, breaking, smashing the rules, and are really getting a buzz on the independent circuit in both these provinces. So we're looking forward to that. I should say that the way that we're laying out the card here is not in any particular order. We'll just be talking about the matches on the card. One of the marquee matchups that people are looking forward to a lot and talking about is the return of the man whose channel this is, the Hannibal TV. Of course, the Blood Hunter Hannibal is making his return to the ring after what was a very serious injury last year involving his ankle that he fractured, but has been really working hard to get back into ring shape. And I'm just going to play a quick promo that he cut a couple weeks ago and then talk about his opponent, who is a mystery opponent.
Sun has not set on Hannibal's career. It is not dead. Whoever gets in my way, June the 29th in Napanee, you are going to feel the violence, the rage, and the fury of Hannibal, the Blood Hunter.
That about says it all. I wouldn't want to be the other party in this equation. What about you, Jeff?
No, I've seen this guy wrestle a few times. He is probably one of the best independent wrestlers, not to be in the big leagues right now, but I don't even think he wants that anymore. But this guy, every time I see him, I've never been let down. I've never, he even scares a few little kids because he's that scary of a dude, man. Yeah,
without a doubt, what you see with Hannibal is a shoot. He's going to bring that intensity, for lack of a better word, and that sheer violence. I've been talking to him quite a bit, and he feels that he's got something to prove. He came off one heck of a match, his last match in May of last year in Ottawa at the 15th anniversary show against Cowboy James Storm. That was a hell of a battle. If you haven't seen it, search it up on the Hannibal TV. But he came out on top there, had the momentum going again, and then unfortunately broke his ankle, but is working double, triple tough in the gym to get back. Now, his opponent.
Before you give me his opponent, let's not forget he's a former Intercontinental Champion in Puerto Rico. The guy's been around. So
multi-time GNW champion, multi-time Canadian champion, and a legit we use the term shooter a lot. Hannibal is definitely a legit shooter, and that's why his opponent is right now. I'm only authorized to say that this is a man who is no stranger to Great North Wrestling. He is a very big man. He is going to test Hannibal to his limits coming back for this match, and it's going to be something that that will not be forgotten in a show that's pretty stacked as it is. This guy is asking for the time being to remain a mystery. I maybe to get a psychological advantage or some kind of an advantage over Hannibal when he shows up. But yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to this one. Again, a big man, similar in style to Hannibal, and one who is no stranger to Great North Wrestling. Do you have any guesses?
Well, good luck to him, I tell you, because we're talking about the blood hunter here. And, you know, he's seeking blood, man. So I'd be careful in there. I'm not sure who you are, but I'm sure you can hold your own if you're going to step in there against that guy. Let's not forget he's also an old alternate for the Canadian wrestling team. So this guy's a grappler, man.
Yeah, and he wants to come back and get back on the road to doing what he does best, and that's leave broken bodies and win titles. So this could either be the start of another great run for Hannibal, or it could be stopped right out of the gate. I don't personally think so, but either way, the fans are going to benefit.
You never know.
You never know. Moving on, and this is a late announcement here. We promised the fans that we would be signing talent and bringing them on board, you know, right up until the day of the show. I'm pleased to announce, you would have seen it on the Great North Wrestling social media, that we have signed the current reigning Montreal Fight League MMA champion, former University of Ottawa nose tackle and grappling world champion, the Black Dragon. He is about 6'8", 300 and some odd pounds, and just Devastation Incorporated. He's coming back. He reached out because he wants to have a shot eventually down the road at gold in G&W, and this is going to be the first step. We've got a man here who is absolutely devastating. If you look on the HannibalTV.com, there's a playlist of his professional wrestling and MMA bouts. I suggest the fans take a look at it. We're going to see a man who definitely knows what he's doing inside the squared circle and the cage. Are you familiar with the Black Dragon?
I have heard of him. This guy's, when he gets to be a good wrestler, he might just go right to the top. You never know with a guy like this. Comes out of mixed martial arts. He wouldn't be the first guy to do it, would he?
No. And from what I understand, he has had interest from WWE and has participated in some of their endeavors, but just it wasn't something that he was looking to pursue at that time, but who knows down the road.
That's my point exactly. He's going to have to do some independent work first, go around and see how he does. And it wouldn't be the first time Great North Wrestling has had some of their young up-and-comers end up in the bigs.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a few others. Sorry, Jack.
Absolutely. No worries. We're looking forward to that one, of course, but for those fans that checked out the Renfrew Reckoning last November in Renfrew, Ontario, and what a great show that was. Well, aside from Mr. Dupree, but we'll get to that in a minute. But one of the highlights in terms of work rate and just intense match from bell to bell was between a man who has done work for AEW, and that would be Stephen Main Event Mains, a very skilled technical wrestler in there, high flyer combination. He reminds me of there's some Shawn Michaels in there, but there's some Bryan Danielson. He's something to to really watch in that ring. He's going to be facing his nemesis in a rematch because the fans were asking for it, and that would be against the man known as the foreign menace, Carew. He's a big man, and last time in Renfrew they tore the house down, and the G&W executive committee decided that we should see a rematch for this because it's just the type of exciting pro wrestling that G&W fans are used to. Did you happen to catch either of these individuals, Jeff?
Yes, actually, that match I've seen. If it's anything like the first one, Jack, the fans are going to be like, I don't even know how to call a winner on that one. It's so close, you know. Like last time, it was just back and forth. Like, I don't know. I can't even call one on that. I just know it's going to be a good match.
It's kind of a classic battle between, you know, a much bigger opponent and a speedster. Not that Carew is, you know, slow by any means, but it'll be one of those classic matchups again. And I know Carew has got something to prove. He's made some statements that he wants to, you know, have an impact on Mr. Maines, who is, of course, one of the young stars in the industry who, again, has done work with AEW and certainly has a bright future. So looking forward to that one. Absolutely 100%. One of the other stars that was on the Renfrew Reckoning show by the name of Genesis is returning to GNW here in Napanee, and he will be facing a man who comes from Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. The school run by Pretty Paul Roma and Mario Mancini, a guy by the name of Brad Baylor, who has quite a huge buzz on the independent scene there in the United States. That's going to be for fans who aren't aware of Brad or you know, haven't seen all of Genesis work. That's going to be a classic matchup there between two guys that are pretty evenly matched in terms of size, but wildly different styles. I'm personally looking forward to that one in a big way. But I touched on Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, and we were aware of the fact that they are a school that we're happy to be involved with in a relationship, the start of a partnership. We're going to see more Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling talent in GNW. But for June the 29th, everyone is talking about the appearance of WWE, WCW legend Pretty Paul Roma, of the Young Stallions, of Power and Glory, of the Four Horsemen, Pretty Wonderful, on and on. Tremendous accomplishments there. He is going to be up for next Saturday, both in terms of being there for the meet and greet, but also supporting his good friend Mario Mancini in his last match ever in pro wrestling. He is one of those unsung heroes of the golden era of professional wrestling. Had so many. He was highly regarded, so highly regarded that he provided the first matches for many WWF legends back in the day.
All the greats.
Yes. The Undertaker, he had the first match against him. First ever Tombstone, Demolition, King Kong Bundy, I'm thinking Ted Arcidi, on and on. So he's a very accomplished pro and has decided for one last time to put on those tights with his crew from Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling in a 6-man encounter. Alan Compass, another guy who's buzzworthy from the States. Jermaine Marbury, another guy who falls into that category. And they will be facing the Hardcore Bruisers of course, Bruiser, Ottawa legend. You've seen him on many Great North Wrestling cards. He's going to be tagging up with Hardcore Steve McD and Sykes in a 6-man encounter. You know Bruiser quite well, I take it, Jeff.
Yes, I do. Sorry, my daughter needed the charger there. Anyway, I know Bruiser. Yes, I know Bruiser quite well. I've seen him wrestle a few times. Big, strong, old fella now, but he's a big, strong dude. And, Mario, he might have done a lot of enhancement work back in the day, and he's lost some matches, but he's also won a few too. So I don't know what to say about this one, but I can't see Mario and his troops. I can't see him letting his younger students down in this one.
Well, and the other facet of this is Bruiser and Steve McDaniel both said that they're interested in permanently ending Mario's career. So they're known for their hardcore approach to wrestling. I don't see this being any different. It's kind of a curious choice for Mario to be ending his in-ring career with quite a violent pair. I don't know if you know Sykes, but he was in Renfrew as well. He's a Jeff Hardy type high flyer. So they've got a lot of tools at their disposal. But again, as you said, Mario wants to go out a winner.
It's a 6-man tag. I hope at the end, just in my heart, because I think he's in the top 5 and 10. And if you want to call it jobber, go ahead. Top 5 jobbers of all time, Mario Mancini's in there. And I would love to see the 1, 2, 3 with Mario pinning one of them guys. But you just never know. You just never know. The young guys might take the match over.
Well, it's either way. It's definitely going to be history in the making.
Oh, yeah.
We're also going to be having ladies action on the show with perhaps the female champion of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. We're still working those details out, and an individual from Quebec who's making a name for herself as well by the name of Ranza Hunter. She will be on the show against the potential female champion of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. I know female wrestling is very popular with the fans. We endeavor to provide a quality match of that nature as well. But here's another interesting one. One of the co-main events of the show features this man right here, the Kingpin, the King of the Streets, ECW original, Angel Kingpin Medina. There he is with his hardcore road trip heavyweight championship, a title that he's held for a number of years now. He will be defending against this man here, Big Daddy Derek Roy, another big, agile, strong individual that has held many championships in the country. And if you caught our episode of Shooting from the Hip, the podcast last week, he said that the title that Angel Medina holds, the Hardcore Road Trip title, will be perhaps will eclipse all of those. And he realizes that he can make a real name for himself by beating a veteran like Kingpin. The one aspect of this match that I find kind of curious is the fact that Kingpin keeps making comments that are indicative to me of taking D-Roy lightly, and that's not something that anybody that's seen D-Roy wrestle in the ring, including in Renfrew, he was victorious. That's not something that's a good business practice when you're defending that gold. What are your thoughts on this one, Jeff?
Well, Big Daddy, I've heard about him. We talked about it earlier, Jack. You said he's like a big Bam Bam Bigelow, a guy that big who can move like that. That's gonna be cool to see. But now you got Angle there, original ECW member, one tough son of a gun. I just think that's gonna be a brawl, honestly. Like, I don't want to pick a winner in that one because there's two big dudes that are going to duke it out, and may the best man win. And does he want to lose that title? I don't think he's going to give it up too easy, Jack.
No, I would agree, but I'm going to deviate from yourself and actually pick the winner. I'm calling it right now. I called it last Saturday. I think D-Roy's going to win simply because I've tried to talk some sense into Kingpin and say, you need to, I hope you're, and he says, oh, I'm training, I'm on my game. And I'm like, but mentally you're not there. Mentally, you're taking this man extremely lightly. And I think that will be your undoing in the end, because at the end of the day, it's got nothing to do with, the ring is the great equalizer. Kingpin is bringing that experience and that hardcore pedigree, but Big Daddy is bringing strength, size, and youth. And I think it's going to be one hell of a tilt where Big Daddy walks out with the gold.
Well, that's one man's opinion. I don't know. I'm leaning a little bit the other way, to be honest with you, Jack. I got a thing for the old ECW guys, and I spoke with Angle on text message the other day. I like the guy, so maybe a little edge to him, but it's going to be a brawl.
Absolutely. Now, the other main event of the show is one that I'll set the table with, and I know you and everybody else has heard me go on and on about this for 6 months, 7 months, but there's a reason behind it, and that is WWE multi-time tag team champion Rene Dupree will be facing the prodigy Nathan Banner. And before I give you a little bit of background on Mr. Banner and his great pedigree in Great North Wrestling, I'll draw to your attention a couple of things. At the
I have a story about Mr. Banner when you're done there. A quick one. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead first.
Well, I think he's a great talent. He's another big guy who can move. He's great on the mic. I was the ring announcer last time at GNW in the Napanee, and Mr. Banner took the mic from me and kind of took over my part of the show while I was supposed to be announcing. So I got a bit of a hard on for you, Nathan. I hope you don't try and do that again. Try and steal my part of the show, because I only have a small part, Nathan. So and sorry, Jack. Now that I'm rolling here, and Rene Dupree, I've seen him wrestle a few times. I've met him. He's a great dude. I hope he kicks Banner's ass, and I think he can, and I know he will, because that guy is one. I know you got a beef with him, Jack, but as a fan, I love Rene Dupree. One of the youngest guys ever signed in the WWE or WWF at that time. A bunch of assholes bullied him, so he got out of there. He's made a great career for himself since. Goes to Japan, goes to all the independents. I've seen him wrestle. He'll bleed and still win. So, and from what you did to me, Banner, I'm cheering for Dupree. Sorry, Jack. I love you, Jack, but that's between you two.
Well, isn't it ironic that, and I'm been very careful to give the man his due. Youngest up until recently guy to ever be signed to the WWE, the main roster. He looks like $1 million. He's on a career renaissance. He's getting booked all over the place, Europe, United States, you name it. He said that he wants another shot at the Canadian title after coming up short in Renfrew. But here's the thing. You also mentioned that he was bullied in the WWE, and that was part of the reason why, that toxic culture, that was part of the reason why he left on his own terms. Yep. And has cut his own path in the business. I find it ironic that an individual that was bullied would do this. This is a portion of the match where Rene was facing Magnum McLaren, the Canadian champion, one of the big money players. And you'll see there, he's got my briefcase in his hand. He took the briefcase from me when I was standing at ringside, minding my own business, and he decided to use it. And he was going to use it on Magnum McLaren right there. You see him down on the canvas there. I'm up there simply trying to talk some sense into him. And then you know what he did? This. That is the aftermath of me getting smashed right in the head with that briefcase, knocking me out cold on the floor for about a minute. and also having massive concussion symptoms for 2 weeks afterwards. And if you don't believe me, here's what the briefcase looked like afterwards. Snapped the lock right off and split the end. So
well, maybe he just wanted to give you the briefcase back, Jack, and needed you to see the combination up close. I don't know. I hope you guys patch it up for the sake of the company. I don't know what to say, but you guys got something going on there. Is that bullying? I don't know. I wasn't at that event, Jack. I was away on holidays, unfortunately. I don't know how you got up on the ring apron. I don't know any of that, so I don't want to say Renee was a bully there. Maybe he's mad at the world now, so he's bullying everybody. I haven't seen him in a couple of years.
Well,
I'll find out at the event, I guess.
Here's the thing. For a guy who is, so beloved by the fans, all the accomplishments that he's done in the building, he's a vicious rule breaker. There was no call for that whatsoever. So what did I do? I went out and got a man who is 6'5", 350 pounds, a former G&W television champion, and a man who is, in a word, destructive. And that would be the prodigy, Nathan Banner, who has joined the big money players and has pledged to me. I had an opportunity to speak to him yesterday. He has pledged to me that he's going to solve that problem for me. And nobody else is going to get away with crossing the boss, which is me. You don't put your hands on me, and you certainly don't hit me with a foreign object. So what I've said to Renee is you don't even have to worry about another Canadian title shot, because you're going to have to get through Nathan Banner, and you're not going to get through Nathan Banner. Nathan Banner has assured me that you're done. He said yesterday, get your affairs in order, Renee, and I'm holding him to that. So the fans will want to come out next Saturday to see the last match ever of Rene Dupree in Great North Wrestling, and possibly wrestling, period. Here's the aftermath of what he looked like in Renfrew. Imagine what this man, Mr. Banner, is going to do to Mr. Dupree. So it's going to be a history-making night, and I'm a little disappointed that you feel that way about Mr. Banner, Mr. Dupree. Maybe I'll have to have Mr. Banner come out and have a chat with you. Would you like that?
Yeah. Well, Jack, I love you. Let's get that straight, okay? I'm just a little wee ring announcer guy here, promoter. Like if shit goes down during this match, like I'm going to be the best guy to have around, Jack, for you, because I can run for help like nobody. I am not getting in there. I will run and get you help, Jack. But a guy like Renee, it's going to take more than Nathan Banner, I think, if he really wants to get at you. Just my opinion, Jack.
Well, I will say this. At the end of the show next week, there are going to be a lot of answers, and I have invested very wisely in Mr. Banner, and we're going. The big money players are just getting started. We're going to continue doing what we're doing, and that's be the real power in GNW, not that hapless fool President Andrews who calls himself the president. I see he's posting on social media about what his plans are for this, that, and the other thing. He's irrelevant. And if Andrews gets involved in my business again, he's also going to be very, very, very sorry. So we're going to settle a lot of scores on Saturday, and I hope for the sake of the fans that you go to ticketweb.ca right now, grab those tickets. Seating is limited. We will also be selling them at the arena date of, so there's a potential to get it on Saturday, but you're going to want to have them in your hands right now before the show. So that's ticketweb.ca. But speaking of tickets, Jeff,
yes,
why don't you lay out the giveaway that you got in mind?
So for any viewer here today, we have 2 tickets to give away. And all you have to do is go on social media, go and watch this channel on the Hannibal TV or wherever else Jack posts it. And the first person to comment with the right answer wins the 2 tickets. And here's the question. Who was Paul Roma's favorite tag team partner ever? That's simple. Jack, I know you probably know, so zip it there, buddy. That's right. We'll zip it. Right on, Jack. It should be a good night. I think we should maybe throw a little plug out to our sponsors.
Gonna do that right now. For all the help that the Buckle in Kingston did. We filmed a very successful, of which you made your incredible acting debut. A parody of the Ric Flair incident of a couple of months ago with Hannibal. That video is really blown up. Filmed that at the Buckle. Want to thank the Buckle for their sponsorship. Do you want to say a little bit about them, Jeff?
Well, the Buckle is very simple. They're the only country bar in Kingston. They're the best country bar around this area, period. And my buddy Jason Smith, Smitty, who's a singer-songwriter, he made this bar. He basically modeled it after the bars in Nashville. So the stage is right at the front window of the place. So when you're walking by on the street, people look in, they see the live entertainment. He puts posts up. They're busy every weekend. It's the hottest country bar in Eastern Ontario probably right now. He has big acts coming through there. And, you know, it's a great, there's an upstairs, there's a downstairs. It's a great bar. And the Buckle's been a great sponsor for us. Like you said, I think we had 3,000 views in less than a day on our video. You know, we're doing our Q&A down there on the 29th, the day of the event. There's a Q&A down there at 2:00 with Paul Roma and Mr. Mancini. I hope Bruiser and the boys don't show up to that one, Jack. Let's just leave it for the ring, eh? And
well, I think the whole crew will be checking out the Buckle after the event to hopefully take in some good live music and beverages. But what about these folks too? Universal Plumbing and Sewer Services.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned them because I know these guys have been sponsoring our events since I've been involved with Great North Wrestling. Universal Mechanical, Sewer Services, and Plumbing. They've been great for us for years. Always come up with a big sponsor. Shout out to the Suttons over there and Mr. Ben. Thanks, guys. Hope to see some of your employees at the event.
And of course, from my perspective, thanks to you for all your efforts and your co-promotion. I think we're going to really tear it down in the Strathcona Paper Center Saturday, June 29th. The doors are going to open at 6 p.m. for a meet and greet with all the talent, and bell time will be at 7. Go to ticketweb.ca, grab your tickets now. We'll have them for sale there. Do you have any final thoughts, Jeff? I see your finger up there.
Any friends or family or co-workers that are watching this, you can also contact me for tickets. And the meet and greet before the show is a great opportunity for your kids, your grandmother, your aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews. The meet and greets are really great to get up and close to some of these wrestlers. And I see somebody look like they answered it right, but I didn't catch the name. But we'll make sure we get those tickets to you. And maybe you
Charles Smith, super fan Charles Smith. He knows this stuff.
Okay, so Charles, I guess you can contact myself or Jack, and we'll figure out how to get these tickets to you. If you live far away, we can mail them, or they'll be at the door.
Yeah, we can leave them at the will call. We'll work it out. But Jeff, I want to just thank you for all that you've done with this endeavor so far, and looking forward to seeing you and all the fans at the show next Saturday. And depending on my mood, I may or may not sick Mr. Banner on you.
Yeah, I don't take that personally, Jack. I love you, buddy. And before we go, I just want to send one more thing in. I also want to thank Ted Shepard, who designed our poster behind me here.
Yes.
He did an excellent job, Mr.
Excellent,
Shepard.
excellent.
I also want to thank, even though he hasn't done the job yet, but he has done one for us before, Eric Empey at DJ Services. I want to thank Eric before the show. He's a big wrestling fan, so we thought we'd have him come out and do another one. And I will continue to do some in the future with you, Jack. It's just I can't do all of them, unfortunately.
Well, again, depending on my mood, you may have bigger problems to deal with there at the show. But fans,
should I start training now for Banner?
Nathan, start training.
Watching this, I'm just kidding, big guy. I love you too. I love you. I'll run. I can still run.
And yeah, that's right. You probably have the speed advantage. But fans, if you haven't already, once again, go to ticketweb.ca, grab your tickets for next Saturday in Napanee, Ontario, and we will see you there. I'm going to close off with a brilliant promo video my partner, Kingpin Medina, did with respect to his match coming up against Big Daddy Roy.
June 29th in Napanee, Ontario, Canada. I'm going to be defending my hardcore road trip title against Big Daddy Oreo. The guy who they've been saying that this is going to be my demise. This is the guy who is the biggest man in Canada. I've been telling the gentleman Jack that this individual doesn't have the pedigree to face one of the hardcore legends in professional wrestling. I'm the man who put New Jack 6 feet under. I'm the man who put stress on his heart because he couldn't handle the Kingpin. And now you want to put me against Big Daddy. I'm going to keep it 100, Big Daddy. I told Gentleman Jack on the show, on Shooting from the Hip, that you have nothing to back you. And people have been putting a lot of stuff in your head, telling you that you have the talent, you have the size, you have the ability to beat me. And dude, you need to get those people out of your head, because the fact is, you don't have none of that. So June 29th, I'm going to be defending this title, and I'm going to be walking away with this. Brother, be prepared, because Big Daddy Oreo, you have an expiration date, and that is June 29th in Napanee, Ontario, Canada. I'll see you there, brother.
Call 54 to base. Call 54 to base. This is Lieutenant Cole Chua. I need immediate backup. Officer down in the vicinity of 8th and Central. I'm being chased by what appears to be a rogue street gang. We're